Hello everybody, welcome back. My name is Chef Rob. Today we're going to make a Tuscan-style tomato and bread salad. You could use sourdough bread or a crusty ciabatta bread. Either one would work really well. First thing we want to do is take about 1.5 pounds of the best tomatoes you can find at this time of the year. Whenever you can get local would be your best. I am using some plum tomatoes. They're the Roma tomatoes. If you can see, I have some beautiful tomatoes right here. And if you notice, I have them all face down. Okay, as long as they are willing to stay down and just go like that. See how that is? What it will do, these will last a lot longer by having them face down because the moisture does not get into the stem here. So if you want to get a few more days for your money's worth, it's worth doing it. Always keep them at room temperature as well too. So let me cut up about 1.5 pounds of the plum tomatoes. And you really could just kind of cut these at any size that you really like, to your liking. And just take them, put them into a strainer, keep them there for about 15 minutes at room temperature. So we have a lot of different videos coming up. We will be filming for all summer long and all year long. So keep an eye out at all the different libraries. And on YouTube, we also do Facebook and Zoom classes. So check those out at my Facebook page, Simply Creative Chef Rob. So again, about 1.5 pounds. And then we're going to use some fresh basil later on. We have some beautiful fresh basil, and I'll show you some ways just to keep it really nice and fresh. This tomato is a little bit larger here, so you cut it a little bit differently, but right about the same size. Okay, I'm going to say 2 more, and then we are good with that. We're going to sprinkle a little bit of kosher salt on it as well. And we're just going to give them a good toss and let any of the juice just come to the bottom, so we don't need to use that in our salad. I have my oven preheated to 350, so this way I can start toasting the bread. So we're going to leave the tomatoes just like this right here. Going to take a little bit of kosher salt. Just sprinkle this on here and just give it a good toss and let it drain for 15 minutes. So let's now cube our bread. We're just going to take this, cube it into about 1.5 inch pieces. Nice crusty bread. Get a good quality one. That will be best for you. Okay, you will enjoy it better. And we're just going to put this right on the baking pan. You want it to be about 6 cups worth. Okay, so if you want to use a measuring cup to kind of put it in there, this is actually going to serve about 3 really nice servings too. Perfect in the summer, spring and summer would be good. So we're just going to put this on here. Then we're just going to drizzle about 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil on here and a little bit of kosher salt as well. So just a couple more. And I'm going to show you different ways that you can add different things into this salad. It doesn't have to be just the tomato and bread salad, but to me the tomato and bread salad just like this, just great. Alright, one more, and I think we are just about the 6 cup mark. And then we're going to put this in the oven, 350. Put it on the middle rack, just keep an eye on it. I want to drizzle some extra virgin olive oil, about 2 tablespoons. So we're just going to lightly drizzle this on here. And then just sprinkle just a little bit of kosher salt on here. And now let's just give this a good toss. Spread it out really well. You want to make sure you have the rimmed cookie sheet like this so they don't fall off when you're taking it out of the oven. You want to get them crisp, but you don't want them browned really. And then we're just going to let these cool. Perfect. Now when you're using extra virgin olive oil, always make sure that the extra virgin olive oil is a dark colored bottle. Okay? It should always be just like this here, very dark green. If you see it in a light bottle, don't buy it, because olive oil does not like sunlight, and the sunlight that comes in, it will turn your olive oil rancid. The smaller bottle you can buy, the better. You can always go back and buy another one. Always keep an eye on the extra virgin olive oil, that it comes from Italy. You don't want it coming from, on the label it may say bottled in Italy, and it comes from Greece, Portugal, Spain, all different places, and you don't want that. It's not a good quality olive oil. So spend the money on it, it's worth it. Okay, let's pop these into the oven. The center rack, and we'll see how long these take. Should not be long, should be about 10 minutes, I would think. Okay, everybody, so our bread took about 15 minutes in the oven. You can see it's nice and crisp, but it's not brown. Okay, so it has that nice little crunch to it. We just want to let it cool. Okay, get it to room temperature. The tomatoes over here, now they have sat for 15 minutes. You can see there's some tomato juice in the bottom here. You could take this, rest it in a sink, or just put it into another bowl right next to it. We're actually going to use this tomato juice here, and we're going to add in the remaining ingredients for the dressing. Okay, so we're going to add a little bit of Dijon mustard, and just about half a teaspoon, so you don't need too much. So just a little bit. And everybody's taste is different, whether you want a little more, a little less. Just need a dot more. We're going to put in 1 small shallot, and it's going to be minced, so it should be about 2 tablespoons worth. So if you're in the supermarket and you see these two, this is the size one that you want. Always make sure nice and firm, nice and shiny on the outside. It means it's nice and fresh. Okay, so let's just mince this up. Cut the 2 ends off, and then just go right down here and just kind of get into the skin, and it will peel right off. Shallot is in the onion family, nice and mild, and this will be perfect in the dressing. And then we're going to add some fresh garlic as well. Love using shallots. When I used to work in a restaurant, I used to make a mashed potato with caramelized shallots in it. Really, really delicious. Always would serve that with like a meat or a pork, something like that. Okay, so we're going to take that shallot, put that right in there. I think I have a little bit more than 2 tablespoons, so I am just going to reserve this on the side. We'll use that later. The garlic, just take your knife, just press down on it, smash it, and then just chop that very small too. And we're going to add that right into the dressing. Now you have a choice. You can use either white wine vinegar or a red wine vinegar. So it really depends on your sharpness of taste, what you like. So if you don't like it too sharp, you want the white wine vinegar. If you like it a little bit sharper, the red wine vinegar. I wouldn't substitute the balsamic in this recipe. I find these 2 vinegars are perfect for this salad. So just put that garlic right in here. And I want 2 tablespoons. Now I'm going to use the red wine vinegar. 2 tablespoons right here. And you can always add a little bit more if you want. We're going to take a half cup of the extra virgin olive oil, and we're just going to consistently whisk it until everything comes together. And now we're just going to season this with a little bit of kosher salt and a little black pepper. Okay, so now let's take our crusty bread that has cooled. I'm just going to put it into my serving bowl, just like this. And that was about 6 cups. going to put the tomatoes, so there's really no juice left in there. So I'm just taking the tomatoes, going to put them in this bowl, just like that. And now I'm going to take the dressing and just pour it right over this. So good, really, really good. And now I want to take about a half a cup worth of fresh basil. Look at this basil. Is this beautiful? So always take a little plastic wrap, leave it on the outside of here, and what that will do is just allow it to be like a greenhouse. Keep it in a cool place, almost like the basement, not the refrigerator, not that cool. Okay? So I am just going to cut these leaves off here, and I'm going to give it a rough chop. I'm going to toss it in with the salad. Now I said earlier in this video that I would let you know what else you could put in here. Well, you could always put some red onion. You could always put some cucumber. I like to use the English cucumber whenever I do this. Olives, capers would be really good in here as well. And now we're just going to give this a rough chop. If you wanted to lighten this up a little bit, you could always take a little bit of the spring mix and just kind of loosen the salad up so it's not as hearty. So this here, the tomatoes, the dressing, crusty bread, and fresh basil. Now I'm gonna, before I enjoy this, I'm gonna let this sit for about 30 minutes because I want the ingredients to all come together and the bread to absorb the dressing. And this right here would serve about 3 really good portions. You want to double this recipe, you could double it. You want to cut it in half. Whatever you'd like to do with it, it would work. Just make sure when you serve it, you always want the bowl to be nice and neat. If you want to put chicken in here, you could do chicken too. Little fresh mozzarella balls on top of here. It's really endless of what you could do with this. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you'll make it this spring and summer. So have a great day and thank you for always watching. Goodbye.
You only need the light when it's burning low. Only miss the sun when it starts.